Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Glad that you can join me. What you see before you is issue 193 of Captain America. This is the triumphant return of Jack the King of Comics Kirby to the Captain America book. I think this was published around 75. I don't know, we'll have a look once we open up the cover. So the story behind this book is I found it in a box of comics that I bought last weekend. I found a seller of some comics on Facebook Marketplace and I made an offer. There were pictures, in the listing, and I could kind of see, some books in there that I wanted, some stuff that I thought, might be of value to my collection. And I didn't see this book in those pictures, so this was a surprise when I found it. I've always wanted a copy of this book. Um, it's the cover is iconic. For those of you that are into comics, you've probably seen this cover before. It's been reprinted by Marvel many times. You can buy like posters of it, and like those little tin sort of metallic or small wooden board posters. So it's a great cover. It's Jack Kirby and John Romita. I love the cover, and the story is also it's classic Kirby. It's high concept, a lot of action, a lot of exposition. This is definitely his triumphant return, not just to Captain America, but to Marvel at this point when he came back from DC Comics. After he got kind of shafted by them on his Fourth World saga, which I think we can all agree. We wish that he had been able to follow through on that, but business and editorial decisions, being what they are, kind of nixed all that for us. Anyway, when I bought these comics, it was, like I said, it was my first foray into like making an offer to someone who had some comics. So usually when I buy comics, or up till now, all the time when I buy comics, I go to the comic book store. Go to bookstores, comic book stores, etc. Look at their back issues and make my purchases, or I'll buy online from eBay or from Amazon. So seeing the comics when I got them back home, I was they aren't in the best shape. Let's just say that, as you can probably see. But looking at this book, it's not in very good shape. The spine is still intact. It's still attached to the staples, but barely so. This would probably be graded as a 1.0, but it might be graded higher, as we shall soon see. So going through these comics yesterday, getting them into shape, I'm going to be cleaning them up. I'm going to be putting them through a desiccation process with silica gel packets and so forth. That's a whole nother story, a whole nother process. I found this comic in that stack and I thought, oh man, awesome. I finally got a copy of this. And I'm sure there are better, well, I know there are better copies of it out there. I just never pulled the trigger on any of them. So I was glad that I finally had a copy of it. So when I opened up the front cover of it, which I'll do now, we see this. Jack Kirby's signature. The one and only Jack Kirby signed this book. So my understanding is, after doing a little bit of research, is back in the day, and by that I mean like the 70s and 80s, it was common for artist writers to sign the first page of the book, not the outside cover like they do today. And that signature certainly looks like his signature. I've seen that signature enough times. If you go to like the Jack Kirby Museum website that's run by his family, that signature is part of the logo. You've seen that signature on his artwork and so forth. So when I saw that, it needless to say, I was quite happy. I was very pleased. I always wanted to own a signed Jack Kirby comic. I always wanted to own this particular comic, and now I've got both. So it was like Christmas in April. So what's the next step here? Well, I'm going to carefully clean this book, and then I'm going to send it off to CBCS for grading and signature verification, which I'm certain the signature is going to be verified. I'd be shocked if that were a forgery. Um, I would just it's not comprehensible to me that that's a forgery. So I'm going to send it off to them. They'll do their thing. I have never slabbed books before. I've never had them put in those vacuum sealed graded slabs, I guess they call them. I will this one. This will be my first slabbed book. Um, as far as the value of it goes, and I'm not in this game so much to flip comics, and I'm not intending to flip this comic. But I couldn't resist looking up on eBay, Jack Kirby signed comics, and the prices range anywhere from like 300 to 5,000, $15,000, depending on the comic, the condition, and so forth. As you can see, the spine here is severely, I mean, those are holes, those are rips in the spine right there. So this cover's barely hanging on, but if I can delicately clean it and get it into a slab, it's going to be in good shape. And who knows? My guess is maybe once we get it cleaned, once we get it slabbed, I don't know, 500, 2,000, somewhere in that range. We'll see. But nonetheless, I'm planning on holding it for a while. Oop, and just realized here you can see this page has separated. So we have a page that's separated from the staple. So yeah, this book is in really poor condition, but it does have Jack's signature on it, and it is, I think, one of his better known comics. So this was quite a surprise. I for the first time I ever bought a sack of comics from somebody that they had been holding on to, and to find this in there was quite a treat. So I'm very happy with this. Let's see if we can close this up gently. There we go. All right. Yeah. So this is my first video doing a look at a book. I'm obviously not going to page through this one. I'll probably page through it one time and read it, and then I'll clean it. And after that, sending it off for tender loving care. So thought everybody get a kick out of that. I was intending on doing the first video on Batman Chronicles, which I'm going to title this the Batman kill list. You can see all of the pages where I've bookmarked where Batman actually kills the criminal. These are the first issues of Batman collected in this work. I think in a couple of instances he actually shoots them with a gun. so I don't know specifically where that no guns, no killing credo for Batman came. I'm sure it came later, but initially he had no problems. He had no qualms killing criminals. Some of these happen by accident, but a lot of times, I mean, he just outright, will throw a dude off a roof or something like that. So anyway, this is a nice book to look at. It's going to be fun to go through it. But back to this. This is, what can you say? This is just gorgeous. It's old, I know, but it's got Jack's signature, and I'm just over the moon about that. Very pleased with it. So I look forward to getting this in good condition again, get it protected behind some of whatever it is they do in those slabs, or they vacuum seal them, and I think they're even UV resistant. So I might even frame this bad boy. So anyway, if you find one of these out in the wild, I'm sure you'll probably see one that's in better condition than this. I recommend giving it a shot and getting it. This is a great comic. I think I read it many years ago in a comic book shop, and I didn't buy it for some stupid reason. So now I've got one, and so everything worked out. I've got one that's signed by the king himself. All right, y'all, take care. See you again soon. Stay geek.